All right, we're live on YouTube now. Good morning, everybody. If you guys are on YouTube, let's see here. So I'm not gonna really delay too much here this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So overnight, as far as the futures are concerned, we saw futures rise a little bit with investors eyeing key inflation data in minutes from the Federal Reserve September meeting to gauge the rate hike path. European stocks held steady while sterling recovered as the Bank of England reiterated that it would end its emergency bond buying at the end of the week. Japan stocks ended flat with sliding tech companies countering gains in high travel related firms. The US dollar was flat while spot gold prices edged higher. Oil was higher, supported by supply concerns stemming from the last week's OPEC cut to its production target. Uh, Twitter reviews policy around permanent user bans. Uh, there's legal challenges that could hamper the U.S. rule to limit independent contracting. Business groups will more hydrocarbons. Okay. Um, oh, 1 second. All right. There we go. Anyway, business groups will almost certainly file lawsuits in an attempt to delay or derail a rule proposed by the Biden administration on Tuesday that would limit companies used to independent contractors. Also, U.S. is scrambling to prevent export curbs on China chips from disrupting supply chains. They've been scrambling to tackle the unintended consequences of its new export curbs on China's chip industry that could inadvertently harm the semiconductor supply chain. People familiar with the matter stated. PepsiCo rides on price increase to lift annual forecast. They had earnings. And then Apple iPhone maker Samsung will upgrade software for their 5G enabled phones in India in December. All right. Let's see here. Lucid had production numbers for Q3, 2,282 vehicles, on track for its annual production of 6 to 7,000. All right, so economic data, guys. We've already got that PPI coming in, core PPI month over month, and we've got FOMC minutes later here at 2 p.m. We'll see if that keeps us in range, and then of course tomorrow, which definitely can affect today, is CPI. Now, unfortunately, I decided that Tesla was the one. Thankfully, it did give us a move towards the end of the day. I was able to catch a little bit of that one. But for the most part, if we go up, I will be light in my risk. Period. End of story. Be looking at a target right here. There's a downtrend starting from these highs, in line with that 50 EMA. And then ultimately, if we can push up and out of that box, as you guys can see right here, I would be looking for a push up and around the 234. Otherwise, to the downside, if we continue down, I will be looking, and what you see here is accurate for what I'm going to be attempting here this morning. So more than likely, I'm going to have to stick with next week's contracts. We are already filling that gap that we had, so we may end up opening at yesterday's open. It would actually be preferred if we would close our open below 215.15, then we could use that as a retest level, but that would be my level to the downside. Now, I am not ignoring the potential wedge, and I've been talking about that one as well. There's also here, so just a fake out at 213.86 or 86 could end up occurring. I spotted this right before I hopped on YouTube, so this is just looking at it as of right now. I again, if price action, and this is one of the things that we try so hard to accomplish, and one of the things that time in the market will give you is identifying price action, right? More than likely, you should see uh, un unconvincing volume or slower price action if we were to drive down there. So if we see an aggressive push down below 215 and 213.86, that's where I'll go ahead and nab that one. Now, one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is one of the things about my strategy is, it either works or it doesn't. So if you have a hard time, uh, and I am going to be taking this with size if we do end up moving to the downside. So that means my risk management is extremely tight. If you're dealing with a 3,000 or under $10,000 account, I would say you probably would want to pass um, on something that is so quick and either go with something a little bit longer or a smaller position, using uh, your risk management. So obviously I am looking at the mechanical part of this. So, it's not so much to do. I want to make sure that my entry is in line with my stop loss, and that if my stop loss is hit, I know exactly or right around how much money I could end up losing on that trade. And so right now the risk to reward on this one is relatively okay. And so I'll take that short at 215 and add at the break of 213.86. And then that's where I'll go ahead and we'll slam into 210, 211. So there could be room for runners if we go make new 52-week lows. But uh, I'm not shorting that. So you guys can see right here, that's 213.50. So what I'm pointing out here is these body candle closes and opens. So that's kind of where I'm looking. This is 213.30, 213.50. So right in that range. Let's see here. Let me go zoom in on that level so that way I can clear it up with the 4 hour. Okay, cool. Yeah, the consensus here is going to be 211.75. We could see a slowdown in price action around that level. So make sure whatever you take, if you're in, obviously if you go longer in expiration, make sure the risk to reward is there. If it's not, then obviously it's something you can pass on. One thing that we want to rest assured, obviously, if we're short, um, or if you are short, you don't want to see Tesla move back up above and into this box here. That's where we have consolidated and chopped heavily for days. So that's kind of where you would want to either if you're long, you want to see a move up and out of this box in order to see a shift in trend. So next one I got today is Meta. So this one's got a little bit of a clear setup here in pre-market, save for the fact that it's now opening up on support. So this is a descending triangle. Um, this is and the only irk I have with this one is this mess right here. I don't like to ignore trend or run through trend. That's usually bad practice. So in my opinion, I see even if I just want to start from that trend there and pull it down, so that way we have a clean trend line. That's where I see Meta, and as you can see, tightly consolidated. So clean this up. I gotta get rid of these pivot points too much. Okay, so for me, I've got a potential short below 128.22 and a break below this, obviously, this previous low day. That's 127 even. We've got a target to the downside of 124.72 or 124.65, and really looking for a 125 target. So 125 and 125.50. The reason why I say that, right? So the target may end up being 146. But what we want to do is again, we want to set our targets that are it's going to be profitable for us, but also we know that 125 and 125.50 are going to be psychological numbers, and rather than it's always easier to sell into strength. When the stock is moving to your target, that's when you're going to make the most money. When it's hits your target, and if it bounces, that's when you start to have to, try and figure that mess out. For me, Meta looks pretty bearish here. Zoom out on the hourly, and remember the zone that we trade in. Of course, we find them on lower and higher time frames. But for me, I can borrow this really quickly. This is where Meta has to leave, right? Upside retest would be 132.14. Pre-market highs for Meta are 130.50, and we see another wall here at 130.22. So, good morning. What's up, DJ? Meta is actually showing a break here in pre-market. So, I like I like Meta for some downside today. I would say that depending on where we open, right? Because we're getting closer to the bell as we speak. Depending on where we open, that's really going to dictate um, how things set up. So if we keep moving into the bell, then we're going to have to exercise patience and wait for those higher time frame triggers to break. Otherwise, we could end up getting caught. But right here, you guys can see this is 131.30, 131.31. That is where Meta would have to push above, I think, to move today to even go and touch pre-market or these pre-market highs at 132.60, and then potentially go and fill that gap to 134. So that would be if there is some sort of upside today, and then again to that downside, I'd be looking for. And again, now that we're opening up below 128.50, that that kills that entry. So I no longer am going to be entering there. But I would be looking for potentially a leg in at the break of 128, and then obviously targeting, excuse me, this previous low of 127. So that's meta to the downside. One second. Okay. Here's a tip for today. Price builds, price does not range, it builds. If it breaks resistance and support and moves to the next R, let the trade come to you. Yeah, absolutely. So we do need to take a look at SPY, right? So as you guys can see on the 4 hour, look at that candle sitting right on top. And we do have that range there, but right on top, perfectly. Boom, bada bing. Also today, if we stay in range and nothing breaks, right? Count me out, guys. I'm too tired of this price action. Like, I may end up not watching Tesla if it decides to chop, but again, contraction usually leads to expansion. But we need Tesla, or excuse me, not Tesla. We need SPY to see a break to the downside here. And I would say that obviously we can see that 157.54. Now I'm going to go down here to the hourly. So 157.54. You got a little level here, or where we bounced in this pre-market. That's 157.10. But really, I'd be watching these two wicks. Those 355.82. I have a target to the downside on SPY to 353.17. So that's where I'd be watching for a lay down today. And again, what you guys can see is a lot of money being put into making sure that this price has stayed down. Multiple wicks up around the 360 to 30 level, and pushing off of 361. So if you know that's where money is being put in to push a certain price down, then if that price is broken, then more than likely you're going to see the opposite. You're going to see the covering happen. So that's where you would more than likely, look at an upside position. So I think this one's pretty self-explanatory, just in terms of, where things more than likely could go long or should go long. Um, like here, right? I would be looking at a move up into the 365 level above 363. So let's see here. Meta's rejecting that. Let's go ahead and cover MRO before we vacate. So right now, I told you guys yesterday that I was going to hold and continue to hold. I'm gonna stick with that. I've been looking at the chart. I was looking at the chart last night. We are in kind of like that danger zone. I don't like on the 4 hour that we've crossed below the 9 day moving average. But what I am willing to do is hold the put that I grabbed. I've just bought it back. I'm willing to hold this one and cut the call below 26.44 for a loss, because below that mark, I would anticipate actually going all the way back down to, because this is, again, I didn't take this because I knew I was going to be right. Uh, we looked for that to happen, and I took this with good risk. Everything about this MRO trade is everything I wish Macy's would have done. No, just kidding. But it truly is been, in my opinion, a really good learning experience. 100% to the upside, right? Trimming a few off as you should, trying to pay for the trade as a whole. We take a hedge because we see weak price action. We're also looking for a retest, right? Which is right around where we're at. Um, and we end up pulling a 60% trade to the downside and then 100% trade to the downside, pretty much completely paying for anything. So at this time, those calls still have a ton of cushion. We don't want to dig into it too much, but we also have protection to the downside. So 2640 and 20, really, I'm going to call it 2630 and 2640. That's where I'll go ahead and take MRO off the table. So, and that's to the call side. So if you see it cross underneath there, just know that I am out of that trade. So, uh, real quick look at Meta. Everything's looking down. Starting to think maybe try not to develop any bias here, but it's doing that wedge, that choppy up and down thing here. So maintains buy on BlackRock. Anywhere above yesterday's high, which is 27.71. I did add a couple of calls, which just a couple of them got a little beat up, but again, hedging myself, I haven't really seen anything major. But above 27, 75, 70 whole, I would like to possibly even add again to this trade. At that point, I would definitely think that we're going to go ahead and continue with this breakout. This is still very bullish. Okay, that pop right there still gives us a really nice flag structure. So we could still be flagging and setting up for a continuation move to the upside. So I'm still bullish, and I'm going to continue to watch until I'm not. If you have Tesla, okay, you're probably going to open up at maybe with a little bit of, well, you should be in profit anyway. But if you have Tesla, which we'll see where we open up at, what time is it? It's 9:17. Um, if we open up below 215, then we're going to look at a retest of as high as 215.67. Um, that's where I'd be looking for Tesla to hold below. Uh, if we open up on top, which I'm telling you right now that I can already tell you to see this weird choppiness here in pre-market, like almost as if we have a channel. So be careful. Um, checking my chart here. If we stay in this range, guys, I'm just letting you guys letting you guys know. Because of the way that I trade and because I only have a specific amount of stocks on my watch list, that means that sometimes I'm restricted to the price action that I'm given. And so with Tesla yesterday, yeah, it was tough. A lot of other things moved. But at the end of the day, that's just how it goes. Some days there's down days, and same thing with anybody who tries to go out and find the best stock. They're going to get clapped just as much. For me, I'm able to identify, or one of the things that I like to be able to do is identify price action and the range that we're trading in, and make a decision on whether or not I need to be there or not. So, alrighty, that's it from me. We've got 10 minutes here, so make a plan. The more detailed your plan is, the easier it is. It's going to be for you to follow it and make a better decision or a good decision. So, puts on puts 355 on SPY. I don't know. We're hanging on. I'm telling you right now, we're hanging on. We're not. I gotta pull this up right here. Oops. I actually will say this about SPY. That is your resistance right now, as far as I can tell. And we saw what looked to be a bit of a fake breakout right there. You've fallen back under. So pre-market highs on SPY obviously would mark, you know, I would see a difference there, and look for some upside. But otherwise, yeah, that's not going to fly. Otherwise, to the downside, based on the trend that I can see here, yeah, I would anticipate 353. I don't know if we get the full dump today, but obviously there is a 356, 356, 355.66 level to watch for. So go on the daily. It's hitting daily. Go on the daily. What are you talking about? What did MRO just do? Okay, just gap down. Right down to that 266.66, 26.66. Staying zoomed out, guys. I want to stick on the 15 today. Let's just change all my charts. Oh my God, what is this nightmare? Yeah, I'm switching to Trend Spider. I, I've made my decision. Absolutely ridiculous. How many levels were just back on my chart? Yeah, still arguing Tesla potentially having this trend line to deal with here. There's definitely trend here, like the 100%. So Tesla to the downside. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there. I would anticipate a move down to this bottom trend line. So whatever runners run, if we do see, I do have those puts. I'll TP when we hit the trend, right? As far as levels, there is 208, like you were talking about, Sean. But also 210. So that's gonna be the mark for today. Hopefully we get a break out of range. We also see a rejection. Everything looks good on Tesla. Uh, just stay below there, right? Breakdown, retest, new low. So hopefully it doesn't take away our entry. So no Mark Zuckerberg ain't taking hot shots on nobody. All right, 1 second. Just a reminder, if you guys want or have requests as far as charts, be up with me. A lot of the times I'll go and look and see, people are on live or I'll hop on live. I don't think that Lucid's sustaining that breakout right now if SPY falls. But there is that is good news as far as production numbers are concerned. Let's see. Yeah, I would say um, Yeah, I don't like that big gap, but maybe above 1330. You might be able to hit 1368 today. There's a gap to fill up there, but I don't like those big gaps here. So it's above 2%, so you could definitely see a gap and go, but we'll see how we open. October 14th, puts on Tesla are what I'm going to be taking. Listen, tight stop at these lows. The low is 214.96, right around there. Tight stop. All right, I'm not messing around today. I've been faked out a couple of times on Tesla getting choppy in range. So we have got the range, the box here this morning that we could abide by. What the fuck's my box? So right now, this is our little box. Yeah, right. It's looks like actually it's 215.11. Sorry. So 215.11. So depending on your expiration, right? I already have put, we'll see if we make that low. I'm watching PayPal. Watch PayPal to reject 83.80. Lucid's giving you a push right there. See how that candle's dealing with 1338. All right, getting ready October 14th. Hitting the 210s. 5 minute land at the five really quick. I'll wait for this candle to close below that box. All right, there we go. I blagged in a little bit here. And again. I deleted all my fucking targets. All right, I'm pulling. I'm watching the tape here. Scalpers should be making. There's that 213 level that we talked about. Just tapped it a little bit. S1 coming in right here. All right, trimming out just like I talked about this morning with you guys. As soon as we hit S1, we're gonna trim. What is going on, dude? I got a terrible fill. There's 212.50 and 212. Hopefully, you guys got a better fill than I did. My eyes are spinning right now watching this tape. All right, good trim. See if we're gonna get that fake out reversal. That 5 minute candle closes back up on that level. That's it. Yep, that's it. I'll let it retest, but that'll be my close. Lucid is pulling up to that level right there. PayPal's pushing back up into its area. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close. All right, I'm out. I'm glad I trimmed, but that uh that bounce right there has the candle opening back up on the 5, which puts us back inside of this zone. And I'm down obviously, so I'm probably gonna. I don't want to be range bound again. So right now, if Tesla can break above 218, if you want to take the bounce, go for it. Meta is giving us a strong bounce here as well. Looks like it might end up hitting that trend line there. Yeah, so that wedge actually ended up playing out there. So uh-huh. But right now they're not even keeping Tesla propped up either. So we just hit the 50% mark here. That's 217, looks like 217 even. And we're pulling right back down. So I'd rather stay at that was a nasty, nasty reversal. That was a great push down. And we ended up hitting 211.50 on the dot. 211.50 on the dot. So it's still so what we would be looking for if you're and again we would need a candle close below 214.50, but that's it, like that's unfortunately that you can't help. You have to chalk that one up to the game. So I think right now, looking at Tesla, we need to zoom out 15-minute time frame. If this 15-minute candle closes above 213.36, I'm going to go ahead and call for a pivot point retest, and that's going to be 219. Um, yeah, absolutely squeezing these shorts completely out. They drove that down really hard and they just flipped the script. So full on liquidity trap. Yes, yes, sir. So as long as you guys didn't try and short the bottom, you should have been able to get out with relatively minimal damage. I was down about obviously as a whole I got in pretty deep, but I trimmed out at that 212.50, and then as it pushed down a little bit lower, and then as it reversed and hit my stop loss, I went ahead and just reduced my risk and then cut at that candle close. So I saved myself um, a little bit of damage there. but I also don't want to get back into a mess where we stay inside of a range and chop. Although this could snowball nice. So you got the SPY bounce. Where SPY, what is SPY bounce? Oh man, 356.32. Right there off of these lows, off of those candle closes. Take a look at this. All of those candles close. Watch SPY above 359.45. I will absolutely, yeah, that's where I would go ahead and look for a break of pre-market highs, and then 100% I'd be looking for a 362.50 retest. So I'm gonna stay in cash for right now and wait on Tesla. This is a great bounce, super duper reversal. But again, I need to get out of the range that we were trading in yesterday. Uh, PayPal, on the other hand, is going. All right, so take a look here. Look at PayPal. Faded, faded down and faded up. You bought the top, you got faded. If you bought the bottom, you got faded. Tesla's doing the same thing a little bit. Or Meta, sorry. What did I say? Tesla? Yeah, that's Meta. Meta, sorry. Said Tesla like 1,000 times. 4 minutes and 20 seconds for this candle to close. Oh my God, if they sink this thing again, that would be the nastiest thing ever. Look at it. Stay safe, guys. There's no games being played today. I am eyeballing a gap fill trade on PayPal above 85.75. We'll take a $90 call on PayPal. But otherwise, I'm staying in cash. That was nasty. Imagine everybody buys calls and then they just dump it. I'll take the same short. Look, we just slammed right back into into that 214.80. Right here, right at 214.50, guys. I'll pop it again. Uh Start light on that one. Same strike. This is some snake shit, straight up. But I'm gonna take my licking and keep it moving, guys. There's no no reason to just keep it moving. That was hopefully you guys, as long as you maintained your risk and you didn't let it rip all the way back up to the upside, as long as you maintained your risk and you cut or trimmed, right? Because trimming is how that is a form of risk management. That saved me. If I didn't trim, if I hadn't trimmed where I said I was going to trim around that 213, 215 or 212.50, I would have gotten, I probably would have just stopped trading for today. So snow had a huge fake out. Yeah, everything flipped down. I mean, I'm thinking that we're probably going to build to the upside now. Why bother squeezing out those shorts? But then again, we could have just set the new range. Let's see. Look at that. Interesting, huh? Right around that 50% mark. That's 215.50. Yeah. All right. Same thing, guys. I got my fingers on my hotkeys, so look at the 5. Look at the 5-minute candle closes here. Oh my god, what a mess. That was the nastiest. Pulse check, guys. Everybody doing okay? Everybody still breathing? Yeah, that was incredibly fast. Yeah, SPY's pushing that 9-day moving average. Let me go look at the SPY options. Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, sitting on the sidelines is not a terrible idea. Oh boy. Take a look at that tape. Oh my gosh. What a chop fest, man. Well, I did my swing trade. I got out of to the downside, but uh that wasn't as in profit as it could have been. All right, I like that pressure down. What is the wow, that is bonkers. I'm watching the tape, guys. I'm blown away right now. 213. Look at that. Just cleared. All right, popping here again. Spot needs to cross below 315.22. Excuse me. It needs to lose 350. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait till SPY breaks back down below that mark. We need to see a rejection here. Candle closing 315 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah, count me the fuck out. If this is what we're gonna be doing today. Down, up, sight, sight. Do you think I'm gonna swing anything in the CPI? Maybe, but probably not. That was one of my fastest losses I've had in a minute. So I mean, I lost like uh around $1,000. So I went a little heavy though, so that's my fault. But I'm still within my risk, but all right, you just rejected. Look at where you just rejected. That is 217. That's that top right there. So what I think just happened is we just established where Tesla's next area to, and we already see the 50% mark. So if anything, you may end up going back down to that wick. If you clear that wick, then we already have targets to the downside, 208.55 and 206. So being the stubborn ass that I am, I will take it if it shows uh, if SPY really shows the signs of reversals. It's that I'm going to need to really pay attention to, so that I don't get fried. Should have bought calls. I don't think that really. I mean, if you would have bought calls right now on Tesla, you would have been screwed. If you would have bought calls right here on Tesla and looked for a complete reversal, you would have been fried, right? If you would have scalped it, right? Where's your target? Like, where do you even set a target? The target, I mean, where's the risk to reward in a bounce like that without incredible size? So I'll hit the 210s again. Or excuse me, I'll probably actually move into the 205s. But I'm waiting for Spy. What would the market reverse on right now? Stay vigilant. Look at Meta holding. Someone's mic is unmuted. I got it. Just take a look at Lucid. Whoever asked me about that. 1350, and looks like you fell back into that. Looks like it might end up going for a gap fill now. Yep. All right, we need to zoom out. This is a good time to go because this could triple. This is triple bottom territory on SPY.
Tell you what, if y'all can trade this, you're a way better trader than I
Yeah, me too. Me too, dude.
am. I mean, every time I dial up a trade, I'm just about to jump on it. Oh, wait a minute. No, no, we're going that way.
I would say that like on Tesla, like if you look at the 3 minute, like all was well. Um, that push down was perfect, right? But man, I tell you what, that type of reversal does not happen very often. And the only reason that I was able to get out because I was in a heavier position than I basically hit max go on that one. And that's I had a good entry, but the fills were ass as well. So like I got a couple of like late scattered fills, um, and I had to up the limit on a couple of them. But that reversal right there, like too fast, too quick. Like even watching the tape, dude, like that tape reversal. Oh my god, my eyes were spinning. Thanks for saving my account on Lucid. I got you, fam. Did you short it? Because that would have been sweet. I would have won a gap fill that one. Damn. Should have got that one. Should have shorted Lucid. Nah, I don't trade like that. So I do think this 50% mark basically is where we're the new entrapment area for Tesla. So this is disgusting. This is a gross display of liquidity hunting. Oh yeah, look at that. There's our cage. Google. Google. Why is that go up like that? Right. Damn. That is a reversal, dude. Holy shit. Yo, Google's got oh man, that's the kind of setup that's that shit right there. Hold on one second. Oh my. So here's what I would say right now, looking at Google, and I like the setup a lot. Um, you got a complete reversal off a strong push back down. That's gonna spur a squeeze. I wouldn't be surprised if we spend the next 30 minutes here. But this is where I would start looking at a gap filled trade, 101. But Google, damn, dude. Google looks, if it closes above this 98, or if we open a candle above 98.50 on the hourly, I would say there's a an increased chance of moving into the 99.30 and at minimum $100. But that's of course 30 minutes away. So if you wanted to, you can take a look at that 30-minute candle, right? And as you can see, this next 30-minute candle is what the fuck? um, yeah, you would want to go ahead and see a push above that 50-day EMA. Oh, Google's rather inexpensive. I would even looking at, I mean, like weekly 101 calls, because you got to think that if we were to pop right now, I imagine that would definitely you would definitely see that. Okay, you're gonna call for Google next week. So I'd like to see a solid trigger here, but I definitely think that there's, if you keep that increased pressure and then the Qs end up pushing higher, or excuse me, yeah, well Qs and SPY end up pushing higher, then for sure you could look at Google. I mean, as we speak, it's starting to break what appears to be its downtrend. Hold on one second. Anytime that happens, you can't leave that. You got to make sure it's clean. So yeah, just a solid right, and everybody would be looking at that downtrend break, but really it's going to be right there, 98.77. Google, yeah, Google $100 or something like that. I'll grab a few of those. But at the same breath, you're up against resistance. So trading is therapy. Trading can be therapy and trauma all at once. So this is exactly what I was talking about this morning about knowing when to trade. This is the worst price action if you're in any type of weekly situation or even October 14th. Yeah, candle close and Google up there for Google is necessary. No trade for me, guys. Sitting in cash. It's just a smart thing to do. Lucid was cool looking though. That would have been a nice short. $63.72. You need to get above that. That's in confluence with the 280 MA. $63.85. Excuse me. All right, Meta. What are you doing? Watching Meta here, guys. To the downside. October 14th again. Damn, that's 125. So the only ones that are moving relatively well. And that's one jolt away. Not in, just watching. SPY, of course, reversing. Still in range, though. Crypto Nightcrawler. If you're new, man, that happens, dude. And that's it. It doesn't feel good, but it is good. You know, taking a $50 account to 530 and then having it go back to 60. Like, I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. So, and if anything, you gotta. I mean, if you did it once, you should be able to do it again. You just gotta reel it in. A lot of people don't take the time to go and like look at what they did right. Or backtrack or go look at their trades or entries, exits, and stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't waste your time. No juice. Well, I could have told you that was going to happen on Meta. Oh yeah. Nice. You got out of the swing. Good. Yeah, if you're in a Tesla swing, might not be a bad time to get out if you want. So, just so you don't take this personally, just know that shit's not, that's out of your control. That's not up to you. You don't get to we don't get to control that. All we can do, and this is why what we talked about making rules and stuff like that. This is why people say operate like a robot, because a robot's just gonna push the button at mark, right? You're gonna compromise. You're going to rationalize. You're going to, and so like knowing where things have to go. And yeah, like had I held maybe my contracts, I'm not looking at them right now. I can tell you right now whether they went. Let me go actually see. No. So they have yet to go back to that value. Hold on. Yeah, here's what those options look like this morning. That's what those options look like. Ripping all the way to 550, and right now they're at 450. So you would have to hold even longer in order to get out, right? So how did I do that? Uh, Options tracker. If you go to Moomoo, you don't have to use the app, but you can go look at the options chain if you don't want to pay for it or anything like that. So I'd like to short bet, and I think right now there's no risk to reward, and I'm expecting a bounce at 127. And so if there's no risk to reward there, then I just have to wait, because if I end up taking it here, I'm not making any money unless it breaks even further, which how can I anticipate a bounce with a response like that? So I have to be mindful here. Lucid pretty much gap filled. That sucks. So I wonder what they do here. I wonder if they would push it down back to that wick. I'm gonna truth here is Meta gonna bounce at 127 or fade it. Yeah, tunes are bumping, soothing the pain. All right, triggers, fingers on the trigger here. See, okay, so here's what we need to do. So we've got, yeah, you know what? The market's probably going to stay range bound, and then the headline today is going to be market sits relatively flat or loses little ground as investors await CPI data. Watch it, watch it. That's probably exactly what the headlines. I'm going to be reading them tonight, and that's what they're going to say. We'll see though. I mean, I'm gonna just say right now, like even looking at Meta, that's okay. And I needed to let the candle close because what's happening right now is what kind of what I was talking about. Um, but yeah, I'm just we're just not there right now. We don't have the juice. Taking the rest of the week off. What is today? Wednesday. Might not be a bad idea. Earnings week is next week. So how does the affect the market? Like what needs to know? Well, this is all inflation data, right? So this is like when we're looking at the job market, people we actually want to see like a decline in jobs, right? So an increased job market is contrary to what the market wants, and so that's why we saw a response there. With CPI, this is giving us a rate because if we know how the Fed, it give us an idea of how the Fed might react, and how their tone might be going into the next meeting. So, also something to keep in mind that just left mine. Now I feel kind of silly that I just remembered this. We've got FOMC minutes here at 2 o'clock. Yeah. And what do we got next week? October 14th, October 15th. Monday, Empire. Nothing. Nothing. Whatever. Okay, so we have a data-free week and earnings. I have a feeling that next week we're gonna be able to do something. But right now, get wrecked. So I'm down for the day, guys. Red, about as red as I've been in about just in one solid day, like just as far as taking a loss. This is probably about as red as I've been. I'd say about a month and 2 months on one trade. So um, not not upset about it. Little frustrated, but I also see obviously we've got some catalyst here towards the end of the day. We also have CPI tomorrow, and then slowing down that data and going into earnings next week. Think about it. If we move down on any of this data, and then it's interpreted as like not that bad, um, going into earnings season with no data go or no, crazy data going into the rest of the week that could spur that earnings rally that we're talking about. And again, lowered guidances across the board Meta. You know damn well I'm going to trade Meta on earnings. And again, any trade that I take on earnings, the safest thing is to do it after, right? After earnings, after the news has come out, wait for it to settle and then take that trade. But um, I'm excited for earnings or for earnings season, where hopefully we see some ranges get broken, liquidity entered the market again, because like again, Tesla has now moved down from one choppy range and now creating yet another. So it's the best. I don't know who codes for Benzina, but they're trash. Intel's self-driving company Mobileye files for IPO with expected 30 billion valuation. I think let's try and smooth this out to get us out. It's pretty straightforward. Below this low 211, my target still stands. So, but that's if you make it through. I'll take another crack at it. Probably those 205s. At this point, not now. Not getting in now. Just I will if we clear the wick, close the candle below it, and I'll use the wick as a stop. Simple as that. Oh, everybody alive though? No blown accounts. Nice, good job. Yeah, I went heavier. So my loss is my loss. So I don't know how everybody else did. But. Bruh. This is getting ridiculous, dude. What's another TikTok? Look at the bounce. Look at the bounce on Tesla. Wing. I feel like Rod just got into Tesla. Rod, are you in Tesla right now? Yeah. Eh, look at the candle closes and wicks right here. You need more juice. There's Meta building right back up. That's why I didn't short it. Google looks great if it can continue moving up. Yeah. That's pretty fucking convincing. Remember, CPI. Don't get fooled. Don't get wrapped into this. Right. It could be that we just go right back up and send it right back down on FOMC minutes or CPI tomorrow. So I think with that, guys, I am gonna keep the live up here for a second. Um, oh damn. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the live up here for a second and on Discord. And if I see something, we'll snag it. But we're stuck again, and this is just how the market is set up. It's probably a premium seller's paradise, but right now, this excludes me from taking any trades. So you need to take a look at MRO because I've been lacking. MRO bounced right off of 2650. I told you guys that 2640 would be the next area that I'd be watching for MRO to bounce on. So I'll hold the put. If it doesn't go down there, then I'm going to continue to watch this to potentially break out of the flag and bounce back up to the upside. So Mandy's in the Discord. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute on YouTube. Yeah, I'll be 2 p.m.